Hey there everybody, this is Lee with Creative2xmom, and in today's video I'm going to talk about how we do artist study in our homeschool. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Lee and this is Creative2xmom. This channel is all about homeschooling, parenthood, and thriving in the day-to-day. Today we're going to be talking about how we do artist study in our homeschool, and I put all of our enrichment studies in our morning time. We sort of loop. I have a schedule of how my kids have outside classes and where things work best for our schedule, but we go through several different topics. One of those enrichment studies is an artist study, and this is very new to us. This is the first time that we will be putting an artist study in our morning time. We've looked at art before in the past, but we've never actually studied the artists and their time period. So this year I wanted to start out by saying, okay, what are 3 artists that would be interesting for us to look at? So this year we chose Monet, of course. We also chose Michelangelo and Norman Rockwell. I think that last one is going to be especially fun for me. So what I plan on doing is having a 12-week term for each one. If we decide to extend them out, then we will only do 2 artists and we will do a semester apiece. But I'm hoping to do 3 this year. So I wanted to share with you some of the resources that I pulled and how we're going about this study. So the first thing I did was I purchased one of these, Getting to Know the World's Greatest Artist. If you saw our composer study video, I also get these for composers, and this year we are going to be starting with Stravinsky. But as far as our artist goes, we're starting with Claude Monet. I wasn't entirely sure I was going to like these books after I purchased the first one. You get some really pretty illustrations of his artwork, but then you also get these crazy cartoon sort of slapstick illustrations, and that's where I was a little bit thrown off, but my kids love them. There's always this crazy dialogue going on that sort of illustrates the point. These are around 30 pages long, so I try not to read them in one setting. They're short enough that you could read them in one setting, but I tend to lose my kids' interest when I try. So I break these up over about 2 or 3 sittings, 2 or 3 weeks of just sitting together and reading about 10 pages apiece. This gives us a really good overview of the artist's life and their place in time. So we might also add them to our timeline of history so we can see sort of who their contemporaries are for that as well. Then I went to my library and I pulled Who Was Monet. This is another great book for background information. If you've read any of the Who Was series, we love these. And then because we are studying artists, I wanted to pull some picture books. I think there's nothing quite like picture books for the story, but because it's an artist, I wanted to get a good feel of what his style would have been like, and I feel like picture books really give you that. So each time we have artist study in our morning rotation, we do a little bit of reading in one of our books, whether it's a picture book or some background information. And then I go to Amblesite Online and I pull up the print online. Now you can get these printed pretty inexpensively, but I missed my window, and so we have been pulling them up online. We sit down and look at the same picture 2 weeks in a row, and I'll just have the kids study it for a few minutes. We'll talk about sort of what the skyline looks like, who's in the foreground, who's in the background, some of the colors, just observing what the painting is. We might talk about how he titled his painting, because sometimes that gives you insight into what he was going for, what the mood was like, and then I'll shut the computer and I will ask them to recall what they saw. So we'll spend some time, usually just a couple of minutes, talking about what we saw, what they remember, what the mood was of the painting, and we open it back up and we talk about, okay, were we correct? What did we miss? What did we get right? And maybe what we forgot about the painting. So our artist study is really informal. I try to keep it light, simple, fun. I'm not looking for real in-depth art history knowledge, although I think that would be great as they get older. But I'm looking for just exposure to the artist. What time period did they live in, and sort of how does their style and their painting reflect that time period and the mood of that time period? What was going on around them, and how does their work reflect their world? Leave me a comment down below and let me know, have you ever done an artist study in your homeschool before? And if so, who were some of your favorite artists to study? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.